Nightmare. Activate.
Okay, so we got question number 4 now. A student carried out an investigation using chicken eggs. This is the method used. Place 5 eggs in acid for 24 hours to dissolve the eggshell. Then you measure and record the mass of each egg. Then place the eggs into separate beakers containing 200 centimeter cubes of distilled water. After 20 minutes, remove the eggs from the beakers and dry them gently with a paper towel. Measure and record the mass of each egg. Right, so table 4's got the results for us. So you got 5 eggs, egg number 1, and this is how much they weighed before they were put into the water, and this is how much they weigh after they were put into the water. Okay, so as a general thing, we can see that most of them, well, let me see, yeah, all of them actually gain mass after the 20 minutes. Now, question 4.1, it says that another student suggested the results for egg 4 was anomalous. Now, for those of you who are still having issues with this word, anomalous means that it doesn't fit the pattern. Something went wrong, okay? So we can just write that as does not fit the pattern. Okay, it doesn't fit the pattern. Now, it says, do you agree with the student? And give your answer. Now, I would have to agree. So, yes, I agree. But why? Why do I agree with that? Well, if you look at the information in here, this egg went up by more than 3 grams. That went up for more than 3. This one, yeah, more than 3 as well. And this one went also more than 3. This here is the only egg that didn't went up by more than 3. In fact, it only went up by 1.5 grams. Okay, so you can say, yes, I agree. Okay, and there you have it. That's your answer for question 4. Then we got question 4.2. Let's see what it says. Calculate the percentage change in mass of egg 3. Right, so for egg 3, you're going to look at the percentage change in mass. What we're going to do is not asking us to do a specific amount of decimal places or anything like that. So we're going to go 75.7, take away 72.4. Okay, now the whole thing there is going to be divided by 72.4, and then we're going to times that by 100. Okay, now once we've done that, you should get an answer of maybe 4.558. You could do 4.56, or you can just round that up to the nearest whole, to 1 decimal place, and that will be 4.6. And if it was asking you to the nearest whole, then you want to go for 5%. Okay, so this is what you want to have. That will be the percentage change that you're going to get in egg number 3, the mass change. Right, so then we go to 4.3. Explain why the masses of the eggs increased. Now, for this one, it's very simple. There was a higher concentration of water outside the egg than there was inside the egg. Inside the egg, there was a lower concentration of water, so water entered the egg through a semi-permeable membrane by the process of osmosis. And there you have it. That is your 3-mark answer for question 4.3. Now, question 4.4, explain how the student could modify the investigation to determine the concentration of the solution inside the egg. Now, because it's asking us to explain whatever things you mention, you need to explain why. Okay, so I don't know, why do you paint the house in pink? Because I wanted to make it look pink, because I thought it was more attractive. It would be more attractive for female customers if you want to if you're selling the house. So whatever is it that you write down, you need to explain why. Okay, and this is why it's important that you take a look at those at those words right at the beginning of the question, because they're very important in regards to what you need to write down and to what extent you need to take it to, okay? All right, so you want to use more different concentrations of salt or sugar in a solution. So there you have it. That's another thing that we could have done. Now, what would happen here is that you're trying to figure out what the concentration of solution is inside each egg. So by changing the concentrations outside of the egg, if the concentrations of water inside the egg and outside the egg are very similar or are the same, then there will be no overall osmosis of water going into the egg, and this is how you will be able to describe that, okay? Because the question is asking you specifically, explain how the student could modify this investigation to determine, right, and this is important, to determine the concentration of solution inside each egg, right? So if the concentration of water outside the egg was, I don't know, 25%, and in the egg was different, then there will be a net movement of water in and out of the egg. If the concentration of water outside the egg was 50% and inside the egg was 50%, then you wouldn't have any change of water by osmosis, and the eggs would technically not gain any mass. They will remain the same mass. However, if the concentration of water is higher outside the egg, there will be water coming in. So in this way, you're trying to figure out what is the closest concentration of water solution that you can get to try and figure out what the concentration of water is inside the egg itself, okay? Right, so question 4.5, it says chicken eggshells contain calcium. Calcium ions are moved from the shell into the cytoplasm of the egg. Table 5 shows the information about the concentration of calcium ions. So you got location in the eggshell, you got 0.6, and in the egg cytoplasm, you got 2.1. Explain how calcium ions are moved from the shell into the cytoplasm of the egg. Again, we're gonna explain, so we need to get into a little bit of detail there, okay? Now, as with everything else, things will move from a high concentration to a low concentration by osmosis and diffusion. But in this case, it's saying that the ions move from the shell to the cytoplasm. So it goes from the egg shell to the cytoplasm. And if you look at that, they're going from a low concentration to a high concentration, okay? So that cannot be diffusion, and it's not going to be osmosis either, because osmosis will be just movement of water from high concentration to low concentration, and diffusion will be movement of particles from high concentration to low concentration. So from high concentration to low concentration. But in this case, they're going from low to high. Therefore, it has to be active transport, okay? And this is what we're going to say. The ions are moving from an area of low concentration to high concentration by active transport, which requires energy to do so. That's it. That's what you're going to write down, okay? So there you have it. That is question 4 for the paper 1 of 2018. So click on the next video so we can go into question number 5.
It was a nightmare. Activate.